Back with the exhibition matches for the CCL. So this is to give players a bit of exposure. And again, guys, if you don't know what this is, there's a league coming up in North America, the CCL, where players get drafted into teams. So the exhibition matches that we have here, where the players will keep the teams consistent throughout a short series where 3 maps are played. Those matches are designed to give the players a little bit more presence and people can check them out because the orgs are drafting, or the teams are getting drafted. So the players have a chance to shine a little bit and obviously just like, yeah, promote themselves here. We got on the left side for the Donkeys, the blue team, June on Brightwing, Lauber on ETC, Hazorps on Greymane, Nick on Carrigan, and Vespertine on Diva. As over to the right side, the Elephants with Cure on Urel, Elheim on Anna, Hunter on Garrosh, Filthmass on Liming, and Lutano coming in last but not least on Jimmy. Team names obviously totally random. We got a blue team and we got a red team, and so we might as well have a little bit of fun with the team names here. Because, again, this is not actual orcs just yet. So these are the exhibition matches, but we still want to keep track a little bit on the score of those. 3 maps will be played in total, no matter what. So if one team wins the first 2, we'll still see the 3rd map. And, yeah, we'll take it from here. Level 1 for Jimmy. We talked about the talent quite a bit. We have, in this case, again, the ace in the hole. So Jimmy looking for those team fights. And Nick gets to pick his Carrigan. Yeah, again, this is obviously all played out on the North American server, which means that the European players and the very few Korean players that participate in this have a pretty distinct ping disadvantage. Normally they're playing around with a ping of 120 to 140, which on this level of play means that you have to adjust your play style quite significantly. And a lot of the players that I talk to that participate in these games have just flat out stated that they can't make any real reactive plays. They can't really make those plays that they're able to pull off on their home server, and that it makes things quite difficult. But still, when it comes to macro play, that's obviously different, the story, and also the drafting in general. I mean, the fact alone that Nick gets to play his Carrigan here is a little bit nuts, but that's it for that. I mean, if you're a European team, you know what to ban against Nick. If you're, on the other hand, in a bit more of a mixed team, where someone else might draft that is not quite familiar with all of the picks that certain players have and pocket picks here, then this might become a bit more difficult, and I think this is what we're witnessing here right now. So on the European server, we'd say it's going to be the Nick show over here. Then again, with the ping disadvantage, might be a bit of a different story. Either way, I'm excited to have Carrigan in play here for Nick, so we'll find out. With level 4, we already have the first Indomitable setup for Garrosh as he comes in with the Unstoppable frames. Obviously, every single character here has also the Gladiator's Medallion, which allows you even a bit more on that. Already used to dodge out on Cure. Nicely done by Lauber. That was actually sexy as hell. Guys, we're going to look at it again. Look how Lauber comes in and dodges out on the URL play. So at this point, they're sitting topside, they're trying to retreat, then here comes the rotation, and Lauber, medallions up so that he doesn't get pushed away, slides in and goes for the kill. Of course, that is still a bit of an issue since this is a 5-minute cooldown, but at the same time it gives them a bit more map control, allows them to take the top camp, which is kind of cool for them, but this is exactly the kind of play that you want to see here, so that's pretty sexy. And yeah, that was actually quite neat. So this is exactly the kind of setup that we're going to see here a lot more often. And since we're talking about the Gladiator's Medallion, as I told you already, we're still working on including the Medallion cooldown in the overlay. But I talked to Ali a little bit, who creates those user interfaces for us, and he actually has said that in October it's likely that he has finally the time to take care of that properly, since right now apparently September was a little bit of a wash and not really a lot of time to deal with it. So it's still on it's still on the agenda. A little bit of an alter advantage right now for the blue team. The Donkeys coming in with 36 to 32 points. Also, thanks to the 2 kills, a slight experience advantage. 2 kills to 0. And, of course, Carrigan still roaming on the map and trying to get some additional damage in and simply keeping those backliners at bay. Making sure that Lutano, for example, on Reyna can't just simply move out on the map and has to be a bit more careful with this. So, Nick right now making the rotation to help Greymane out a bit. Hazob's in particular, of course, responsible for camp clear. Greymane in Worgen form is insane on that. And since he is the probably most impactful hero for that particular job, he's going to be the one trying to get those pumpkins locked down whenever possible. Also, in this case, the full metal, the nuclear option, and hit the nitrous for Vespertine on D.Va. And Kerrigan already jumping in as Q is taking it a bit easier right now. Doesn't engage into the fight, stays safe, stays in the back, just soaks the experience, holds the lanes, says like, yeah, I don't know where everybody is. There's no reason for me to commit Sudoku over here. So I'm not simply gonna pop out my math puzzle here, but instead I'm gonna play this safe. Then again, down at the bottom of the map, we already have the hefty attack towards Ana. And Ana is gonzo. She's down. Kerrigan might not have connected the entire combo, but it was enough to push her out of position. And now they're working on kill number 2 as they are focusing on Jimmy. But Nick is down as well. Greymane dives too deep too and dies. And Lutano survives. What? Look at that fight. Check that out. So first they're getting the kill against Ana. Then they're trying to make the play for Jimmy. Kerrigan goes down. They still have the opportunity to take 1 or 2 heroes. But because Greymane was so focused on diving in deep and getting that kill in the backline, he takes tower damage and then falls as well. If Hazu in this case would have had the oversight to turn around, he could have taken down Jimmy and most likely also dropped a second hero. So that was pretty crazy. That was actually nicely done. So in comes the damage through the altar. Quickly connected here, 32 to 32 now. But that was quite something. That could have gone way better for the blue team. It was a bit of an upset for them. Level 10 abilities are in. D.Va is able... well, the Space Goat is able to take D.Va down. So that's another kill here. By now we have 4-2-3. And, well, let's go. Bottom of the map. There we got June also in. Filthmass is sitting there and is still poking this out a bit. But in we go. Bullet comes out. We got the stage dive in. We got the micro missiles. And on the other side, of course, already seen the Ultralisk for Nick that he's trying to combo off to get some additional stuns in. But yeah, stage dive comes through. A bit of a global action. There's the taunt. Big plays right now. Li Ming isn't here yet. Li Ming is on her way, but she's not here yet. And there is the kill right there. Boom. Easily eliminated. Nick now on the move back after he was able to take down Jimmy. That's a 5 versus 4. Hazo is also trying to follow up with a bit more damage, but not able to make it work. So, let's see. 32 against 32. We still got the rotation down to the bottom, as they can now try and take both of the camps, actually. They don't have too much time, but with Greymane, they don't need a whole lot. June is sitting here too. Might actually become a little bit tricky. D.Va is here, so she's great for a situation like this. But here comes Urel, and she's not too shabby in that spot either. So a big fight over the spot. The Ultralisk comes out. Kerrigan is looking for the kill. Nice! Good D.Va play, actually. Zones them out completely. The camp is taken by the red team then again. So for the Elephants, pretty solid play here, actually. I like it. They were able to steal the camp away after the blue team was trying to take it and didn't lose a hero. We had some solid attempts to get good value out of the D.Va bomb, but didn't really work out quite the way that they intended to. Couldn't get any kills. Now we have our channel on the left and the right. Lutano with an interrupt against Vespertine. Their own altar has also been channeled. Shots are getting fired. And at the same time, everybody is trying to play defense for Vespertine as the the Rainer's Raiders are going for an additional interrupt shortly after. So, yeah, there we go. And, well, let's see. The shots are fired. 28 to 28. It's a close one. 12 versus 12. 4 kills against 4. And also identical points on the core. June, yeah, able to get out of harm's way as they were trying to flank in on him. The fruit fly, very resilient over here. Yeah, also, at the top, Cure gets attacked again. Vespertine committing to his ult on D.Va. Lauber is, of course, waiting for the next potential power slide here. Stacks, by the way, for Kerrigan are nearly completed. So we are seeing 70 at this point for him, for Nick. And Vespertine is still dealing all the way with the top. I like it. Good game. Good start into this one. And here comes the combo attempt by Kerrigan. Polymorph as a follow-up. But also a pretty nice play from Elheim, who gets the sleep dart through. And that's the end of Lauber. Yeah, Yeah, they got a little bit ganged up on. Didn't really see that coming from the middle here. Chrysalis is now in for Karrigan, which is going to help her survive if she's ever going to be focused again. But the Elephants start to take a bit of a lead once more. So also a very heavy focus into the face melt now from Lauber with the mic check on level 13 as well, after initially committing on 4 and 7 already to the ability. A bit of pressure at the bottom of the map. Bot lane, the most important one of Towers of Doom, since 2 of the pumpkin camps move through the bottom of the map. Lutano might be in trouble. Here's also the slide, but again, great darts, I have to say. Ana with some serious setups here. 5 hit points, and D.Va comes in with a kill. Uses the Gladiator's Medallion too, just to get out of the tower range, but nicely done. That's 5 kills to 5 now. The altar is up, and one of the teams will take the lead now, and it's looking good for the Donkeys here on this objective. 5 versus 4, numeric advantage for them. Yeah, they're working on this one. Nick with the channel. He's the one to get the damage connected, or the objective connected. Q is still sitting in the middle. It's a cool back and forth here. So both teams are looking for kills, are looking for some action. We have the move straight onto the camp again. It didn't work the last time. And Ana is now coming back too, so they're not even trying. They're letting this one slide, at least for now. Trying to set a bit of a trap up here, maybe in the middle, but that's about it. Now that the red team is committing to it, let's also check this out. Good to go. Pulse mode over here from the Donkeys D.Va. And yeah, there's still another pumpkin camp on the left side, which is so far ignored, but that has just spawned a second ago. So 15 to 15 now, and with that we have our move towards the pumpkins on the left side. Again, no talent advantage, and it's just like dead even. It's honestly a game on eye level, at least up to now. Could of course snowball at some point. This is after all Towers of Doom, but once you take control, it's pretty difficult to take that away if you play your cards right. And having that global aspect through ETC stage dive is of course another asset that could theoretically be used in the later stage of the game. Now, ETC doesn't have Echo Paddle on level 7, so it's not going to be in that side lane position a whole lot. That could still be used here. Yeah, unstoppable frames. Save Garrosh for now. Goes for the taunt. Chrysalis used by Nick, and he gets away. But this is falling, and here comes Urel, or at least tries to, gets locked down a little bit. The polymorph comes through, Q not able to do too much, and all of a sudden he's also slightly low. Didn't have to commit to his ult yet, so that's at least some good news for them. But here comes the stage dive, and they're looking for Garrosh. The slide and the kill as the wolf goes for the throat. Nicely done. Yeah, well played by him. Good job. Now, we still have a triple altar phase up, and this should be a 2-1 altar trade in favor of the Donkeys, which would put them even a little bit farther ahead. They've already taken the lead, and that would just exacerbate that a bit more. So, yeah, shots are getting exchanged. 4 shots on the left side. Grayman with the channel over here. Hazo able to complete this. Another 4 fired, and that brings us to 24 points to 16. A solid lead, but nothing crazy yet. So, once again, with everybody starting to jump in here in the middle, trying to take some structures down. No bell tower has been converted yet. The bot lane bell tower on the blue team has taken a bit of a beating, but nothing really to write home about, so they haven't taken control over the map yet, nor are they close. Blue team is getting a bit of momentum, but still, it's still very, very even here. So, let's see. Okay. Yeah, bot lane, they're still defending this. I mean, boss is not something that anybody has really focused on just yet. They're playing a bit more passive right now. We had a couple of very aggressive moments in the earlier stages of this game, but now it seems more and more that the teams are trying to play a more cautious style, just so that they're not getting snowballed. The death timers have obviously increased. And Ana is actually still trying to connect these darts, and now has a little bit less luck here. The last couple of sleep darts didn't really connect all that well, so Lauber is able to dodge out on potential damage follow-ups. Greymane is taking the opportunity and all the freedom that he has now topside to take another camp, and that might result in the bell tower taking some damage, depending on how Cure can set up the defense here. Grayman isn't pushing this in either, by the way, so Cure has all the time in the world to deal with it, but that also means that at the bottom of the map, the red team is now at a numeric disadvantage again, and that's just when those altars spawn. So, yeah, Urel has to complete the top defense quickly, and then make the rotation, since there's 2 altars on the line now on the next objective phase. 16 talents, obviously ready on both sides, as we already said. And here we go. Here comes the attack. Bell tower at the bottom. Kerrigan could go for the channel. Tries it. And Lutano comes in, connects a couple of auto attacks. We still have the fight over the middle altar from Urel and D.Va. But yeah, they are really, really playing this slow now. And I like it. They're really paying attention. This is actually a really cool match so far. The two teams just not trying... I mean, they're really doing their best to not give the opponent any kind of opportunity. Lauba doesn't have a mosh pit, so they know they don't have to be careful around that. Uh-oh, there's the channel. Nick gets the shots connected. D.Va coming through. Alright, a little bit of a displacement setup. And Brightwing is now also helping with a heal, but cannot save D.Va. Anna then again is also a bit low, but a good taunt saves her and puts Lauba into a pickle. Kerrigan has already fallen, and the Nano booster Li Ming is just trying to follow up with even more resets and kills. Cure saving Brightwing for a second, but it doesn't matter. He's down, and we're looking at a 5-man team wipe, ladies and gentlemen. Easy peasy full-on setup and a conversion of the bell tower. Well played. Yeah, big fight. Big fight, actually. Nobody's taking that bell tower yet, by the way. Yeah, they jumped on Hazu there towards the end after the fight was over, and then they can, of course, go for the objective immediately. Or at least they could, but they want to have all the bell towers right now. Should probably keep one at the bot lane. Are they trying to get all three? I don't know if they have the time. D.Va's going to be back. Kerrigan probably too, so taking the top is going to be tricky. But Urel is already moving bot side, so they're going to get 6 shots connected right now. Pretty sweet. And that's not the worst of it. I mean, you have level 20 against you now too, so Storm Talons are also in play. But at least this setup will allow them to catch up in points. Easily, by the way. Bam! 18 to 12. Not fully, but they closed that gap significantly. By 50%, so good job by them. Of course, now the question is how much of that control can the Elephants maintain? They have the 20 advantage, so they should be able to do a lot here. But time will tell. Cure needs to be careful. Yeah, there's a recovering act in the middle of the map. That's an easy one, okay. It's actually not bad. Given the fact that they are still behind in experience and talents, it's pretty solid. There is actually... there would have been an opportunity for the Elephants to try and trade for boss. Could have maybe done that. Decided against it, played it a bit safer. But of course, have needed to expose themselves a little more to a potential counter-attack. But now we have level 20 talents on both sides, 7 kills to 9. And the heavy push through the bottom of the map, which is still the most important one over here. We got for D.Va, the ablative armor at this point. That's the first one, the Hunter's Blunderbuss, as usual. Brightwing hasn't committed to anything yet. Yeah, pumpkins. Can they actually get some through? Yep, 3 of them. Pushed in, and they connect. Oh my god, and another 3. That's 6 shots in total, and that puts us on the exact same amount of hit points on the core. 12 to 12. Oh my god. Yeah, they are really clutching this one, aren't they? Now the double altar is up. Just imagine if the Elephants are able to... I mean, it doesn't matter which team. If one of the teams takes both, that would put the other one down to not only single digits, but also on 2 points. At least if the Elephants take it. So, this is getting really spicy here. Yeah, it's getting pretty thin up here. And this is only game number 1. Again, this is an exhibition series. We'll see 3 maps no matter what the results of these games are. But in we go. Here comes the attack. Yeah, Q already sitting at the side, trying to make Nick's life a little bit more difficult. Okay, the attack against Garrosh, Hunter has to be careful, is a bit low, and so far Li Ming wasn't able to connect a lot of damage. Has the nano boost now, Vespertine is completely screwed. Yep, ETC with a jump on Ana, and this time the Garrosh stun doesn't connect. And they are actually chasing them from left to right. And Vespertine is still alive, so they can still make that play. Now, Q's jumping in too, but the attack against Ana is successful as Kerrigan comes in, finishes it off with the Chrysalis, which saves her, and Nick just pops off. It's a double, it's a triple, baby. Nick with a triple kill, and the big plays for his team. Kerrigan hopping around like usual, the Chrysalis dodging out on the damage, and then the easy follow-up kills here from Nick. Now they can recover the bottom bell tower and then go for the double on the altar, which is going to remove 8 points of the opponent's core, and that means a boss would end the game. Boss would easily end the game here, Brightwing has already taken it. Shots fired. Bam. They're down to 8 and they're down to 4 as the last ones connect. And there's another 20 seconds left for the heroes to come back. So this should actually be lights out. Lauba goes in deep. Carrigan follows up and that's the kill. Filthmass trying to get the shots connected on Liming, hoping to gain those resets, but it's not working, and this will be game. The lead goes to the Donkeys as they take the first map in this exhibition match. ETC stage diving into, yeah, why wouldn't you? Yeah, and that's the lead. First map, Towers of Doom, ends in favor of the Donkeys. Nicely done. Very, very entertaining first map. 11 kills to 9. As the game is closed out and the blue team takes the victory. Game number 2 in the exhibition match, the Donkeys against the Elephants. Blue versus red. Vespertine on Urel. We got Lauba on Muradin in our second game. Hazorps on Jimmy, Nick on Cassia, and June on Anna. And on the right side of the map, the Elephants with a Hunter on Johanna. You see, I'm always confused. I actually thought that Hunter was most on the blue side, but apparently I'm wrong, so this time he's playing on the red team over here. Elheim on Anduin, we got Filthmass on Liming, Cure on Zeratul, and Lutano on Thrall right here. The only thing that would have been more perfect is for Hunter to actually play Anduin and having a couple of daddy issues over here, but not really the case. Anduin himself, of course, the traditional crybaby that we all know him to be, but a hero that has actually, at least through the trade, some really fun mechanics that can honestly save a target. And if, for example, Cassia goes for Valkyrie later on, then Anduin is going to become quite crucial to make sure that those Valkyrie hits do not result in kills and zipping the target out again. So we'll see if that works out for them. Either way, with the level 1 talents, we also got the Trolling Thunder right now. And I gotta admit that this is also an interesting choice, because now you could have gone into Crash Lightning, considering that Thrall seems to be participating in the 4-man more so than the 1 versus 1 setup topside. So we still have him with the 1 versus 1 talent. Honestly, this could have been a Crash Lightning setup. Now, if you go up against the Crash Lightning Thrall over here, what you mostly try to do is go for a 2-3 split instead of a 4-1, so that there's less targets for the double connect, and then you spread out a little bit further. So you can play around that, but Lutano definitely had a chance to go for that here. It doesn't mean that his choice is a bad one, but there's definitely more options for him now in this game than you normally would have on the hero when you're forced into the solo lane. But now that we have Lutano actually, Cure actually playing Zeratul, it should be kind of fun too. I mean, it's one of his best heroes for sure, so we'll see how much he can do with this. We still got the stacks for Cassia on the other side for the Donkeys, and we got Exterminator on level 1 for Jimmy, which means tons and tons of potential immortal damage, so that's good for them. Liming, great for those stalemates around the objective, with a Force Armor as a level 1 choice. And Q actually also with the Shadow Hunter over here. So it's going to be an interesting setup that we have for them. It's actually one of the curious things, just in general, how builds sometimes differ between regions. I mean, this is not really a setup that you would see too much in Europe. And there's a couple of players like Tai that have definitely dabbled in this as well. These days, when you're seeing Zeratul, it's mostly a focus on cleave on 1 and 16, and then more of an auto attack build focus that we have with Zeratul, which also means Might of the Nerazim then later on. Lutano up at the top is definitely in trouble. They are chasing him hard, and he just Wind Furies away. That just feels bad at this point. And Zeratul is also around, but yeah, just imagining having an ETC here that would have led immediately to a body block scenario that did just not come into play. We also have on level 4 Sledgehammer for Lauba. Someone is apparently having a little bit of fun. Of course, in theory, that is fantastic for the late game. It helps you also to complete your quests a little bit earlier. But it can be quite powerful in a late game scenario on this map against the Immortal as well. So that's obviously true too. But you give up a lot. You actually give up a lot of the safety that you normally have with that hero. Will also force him then to go into the Bronzebeard Rage on level 13. Not a bad talent by any means, but if you want to go for a very tanky, sustainable dwarf build, you still want to play through the double Thunderclap and then the healing static synergy on level 13. But, well, let's go. Vespertine at the top has to be a bit careful. Also at the bottom of the map, Hunter was for just a second in a bit of trouble as the sleep came through. And, well, with 21 stacks. I gotta say that Cassia is doing a fairly decent job early on in the game too on this map. But it's the first Immortal, and this is where Jimmy obviously excels. I mean, his level 1 talent is just insane, and they have to play defense already. So they're starting to move in here, trying to see if they can maybe lock Lauber down, which so far hasn't been a success. But both teams have the level 4 talents. Nobody has taken a big lead in experience that could lead to an early level 7, so we're not looking at talent advantages right now. It's just more about the setup. And this is really where Li Ming normally shines, since she can just get these combos out. And at some point, if they are sneaking forward far enough, you have to make the decision who takes the damage, the Immortal or a hero. Those are the choices you have. And this is exactly the position that Li Ming wants to be in right now. Just continuous poking against the Immortal. UL coming in from the top, on the other hand, and Vespertine is working on that halftime show together with Nick. And that's, of course, the main goal here. Win the halftime show already, reposition on the map, play around this a little bit, and maybe even get a kill. And they win that halftime show. Handily, I might add. We had Zeratul do some damage at the bottom, but that's about it. So it's a huge lead with roughly 5,000-6,000 points here for the Donkeys. So if they can easily win this. I mean, any kind of race scenario where you have Jimmy on the other side is going to be a win. Especially now that Muradin and Urel are trying to play defense on the right side too. So this is an easy grab. That first objective goes over to the blue team. No questions asked. Only thing that remains is to see how much damage they can do on the structures. Thrall, by the way, also heading into the Wolf Pack on level 4. Looks at 4 stacks now. Getting close to completing the quest. Can't, of course, die or miss one, or he's going to be reset on the stacks. Calamity is now in on level 7, which is also important. Muradin has the freedom to go into heavy impact at this point, and does that. And here comes the push. This is the big one. This is where you have to be careful. And if Urel can rotate down, that would be great for them. She's just fantastic when it comes to those defensive scenarios. Already playing around this a little bit right here. 12 stacks for the Shadow Hunter on Zeratul, I might add. And has his level 7 tile now in 2. All about the mobility in this case. For... careful. All about the mobility for Cure. Thrall, good job. Gets this one. But that is already a fort. First objective. First objective, and the first fort is down right away. So that is tricky. I mean, it's actually a lot of value that the blue team got. So for the red team, they gotta be careful. They already lost the first map. Now, of course, as I said multiple times in the past, this is an exhibition match, which means we're gonna play 3 maps no matter what. But you still don't want to go into map 3 with a 2-0. Kind of want to show your skills a little bit over here. So down at the bottom of the map, Vespertine is playing this pretty slow. And yeah, Cure is not going to take that fight. There's nothing to gain over here, nothing to win. So, well, let's see. Top side. At this point, they can just poke on the second fort. And they have the wall taken down already, so that's already a lead that they have. 17 stacks for Muradin, 33 for Cassia. As they're starting to get some additional damage connected. So, let's see how this is going to pan out now, if they can win a fight here. Urel is not here. This is a 5 versus 4. Good job by Hazorbs getting the penetrating round out against Cures. They're trying to attack here. Urel is still at the bottom, trying to give them some additional pressure against the next wall. And honestly, Vespertine is going to be able to put more pressure onto that tower over here. Cure is there, does what he can, but still, that tower is likely down. So it's a bit scary to see how much damage the blue team can do in this early stage of the game. And they grab the level 10 ability. No Valkyrie, by the way. So we see the ball of lightning coming in instead. I mean, Valkyrie would have been good against maybe 1-2 heroes over on the other side, but it's not... If the red team would play, let's say Jimmy, for example, and an Ana and stuff like that, it's a bit of a different story, but given their setup, given the Wind Fury, Teleport and Li Ming, Iron Skin and all of that, Valkyrie doesn't really do a whole lot for you. Lauber, then again, going straight into the Haymaker over here. Alright. So, definitely a bit of a different approach for him this time. Way more aggressive than what you would usually see. Might of the Nerazim now for Cure too. And we have Sundering for Thrall. So both teams with the level 10. And it's kind of noteworthy to point out that we don't have a single kill in this game yet. Another Stormbolt connects. Gladius Medal was used. But talk about kills. There it is. Li Ming is down. And, well, Thrall might fall too. Vespertine is trying to cut them off. Does a good job with that. There's the Haymaker. Trying to go bowling. And it leads to no kill directly, but Anduin got isolated and was dropped, so that's 2 kills. The falling sword is in for Johanna. We've seen this more and more against Ana players to put them under pressure in the backline, especially Feel the Heat. In Europe does that a lot. Wit, probably one of the best players to continuously show how annoying it can be for an Ana player if Johanna just jumps on your face every time that there's a big team fight. But this is also, talking about big, this is a big shield. This is a very, very, very big shield. This is nearly 100% that we're looking at now. That's 2 kills to 0, and oh boy, this could become a disaster for the Elephants. Now, again, the teams were chosen, I don't want to say random, but they were drafted. So captains drafted these teams. And it's not the teams that will then play in the CCL later. As I said, these are all exhibition matches where teams just want to show their skills a little bit so that Orcs can make a decision on what to do. But here's an easy Cassia kill after a glorious setup from Lutano with a really nice Sundering flank. And that's a quick kill that doesn't really save them the fort, but at least it prevents worse things from happening. So they're not going to lose a keep here. At least they shouldn't. Cure jumps in, jumps out. Another Stormbolt connects. 15 stacks by now. Lauber, of course, also works towards more sledgehammer damage in the late game. And here comes the move against Elheim. And that's a kill. Anduin is down. 5 versus 4 setup, and they are able to take Anduin down. Cassia is back on the map, but she's moving bot side. So they got a counter kill even and could do some serious damage to the top wall too. That's a great setup for them. Here's the Bronze Beard Rage as predicted earlier, of course. And in addition to that, we have now a full-on focus into the entire setup here with Boylan, Surge of Light, Plate of the Whale, and the War Traveler are now all in. 47 stacks for Cassia on the level 1. And of course also the rallying, the giddy up for Jimmy. Yeah, with the damage numbers in play, we have 48. 15,000 for Liming in damage, 25k for Cassia. And the rest of the blue team is honestly getting some good numbers onto the board too. With the exception of Anna, obviously. And even Anduin is a little bit higher in the damage output than her. We're still waiting for Q to pop off. I mean, he's honestly the one that can do the most damage in the backline, together with, let's say, Light Bomb to assist in here. Maybe, like, they have a lot of good tools here. If they get a good Thrall flank up, as we've seen in the last fight, they can pretty much go for an insta blow up. They have the Light Bomb that they can either play out with Zeratul, they can play it out with Johanna, both absolutely possible. So there's a lot of tools for quick kills and for very aggressive play from the Elephants. But especially their mobile heroes, and first and foremost Zeratul, are the ones that of course have to show their skills here. Now, they needed the level 13 talent first before they can make any moves, and they now have it, just as the Immortal is about to spawn. Espadin is trying to time the camp at the bottom of the map so that they get the best value out of it and can push the bot lane out with it as the objective is on the map, so guarding it while we speak. And even Muradin is flanking this a little bit and making sure that he's anchoring the play. But Vespertine is locking this one in, and this is pretty perfect timing. With 5 seconds left, red team has to make a choice. Do they rotate someone down to the bot lane to defend this or not? And since the first tower has already fallen earlier, that wall is vulnerable at the bottom keep. So that's another one. Right now, there we go, with a halftime show. Won by the blue team. It's not the biggest of margins or anything, but it's another 3000 HP lead, so it's not bad either. Another camp is taken in the meantime, and this is really where the pressure starts to mount up. The Elephants have to make a bit of a move. They have to kind of try and stampede out of there and crush the opposition, and it won't be easy. So with 3 kills to 1, we are currently still looking at a pretty significant experience lead for the Donkeys too, and that bot lane is starting to become more and more of a concern. Lutano, yeah, he's also on the run here. I don't think they're going to chase him too hard, because first of all, the rest of the red team is moving in, and there it is, the jump. Gladiator's Medallion is being used, they're going for the fight, but the bigger problem is this. Guys, this keep could be toast. Same time, Zeratul is trying to get a kill, can't. Johanna has fallen. They're still doing some damage up here, but it's a 4 versus 5 in favor of the Donkeys. They're closing in on level 16. The bottom keep is in trouble. Down here, it's a kill against Zeratul. Oh, this is looking bad. The blue team is murdering them. They might just be able to save the bottom keep, but at any point a rotation towards the bot side is going to put the final touches on this one. Actually, not even needed. It's falling anyways. So one keep is down. Level 16 talents are going to be ready in just a couple of seconds. And we have an absolute insane situation going for the Donkeys. They are so close to lock in a 2-0 lead in this best of three map exhibition match, whatever you want to call it. This is a powerful push. We are only 13 minutes into the game, so that means that the Immortal is not that crazy yet, but it's a 50% shield that we're talking about. There's the Haymaker, baby! And... oh, Li Ming is dead. 15 HP for a second. She's down. Anduin is dead too. They try to go for the counter kill, and they get it. But Lutano is in trouble and gets him. No, maybe Muradin. Muradin? Yeah, there it is. The kill. And as I said, this looks bad. Yeah, that fight wrecked them a little bit. That Haymaker, as you can see, completely exposed her. They follow up with the kill, and then they get another quick one against Anduin after that. Now we have 9 kills to 2, and obviously you can tell that this is headed. The Immortal moved through the keep already. The one at the bot lane is already down. Zeratul and Li Ming are still alive, but this core is losing shields as we speak. Cure is down 2. That's going to be a 2-0 before we're heading into the third and final map of this exhibition match. Blue team looking very, very strong here in this series so far. Let's see if the Elephants can at least take the third map as we're heading straight into the final map of this series. Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Blue versus red, Democrats versus Republicans, left versus right, donkeys versus elephants. And the donkeys are in the lead. By the way, if there's any confusion that there's different players from the previous series that I casted where I had the same team names, don't be confused by that, because it's literally just blue versus red team. There are no team names yet, so we can just name them whatever we want, and might as well put some spice to it. So, as we're heading into our third map, we already have 2 wins for the donkeys against the elephants, who so far haven't locked in a single win, and are of course going to be eager to change that now. We have June on Ana, we got Lauban de Haka, Vespertine on Urel, Nyx Carrigan got picked again. That's kind of surprising. Hazops on Greymane, and on the right side, Cure on Malthael. We got Lutano on Sergeant Hammer. Got Filthmask changed the account, is on Chromie. We got Hunter on Garrosh, and Elheim is playing Stukov. Yeah, the players, the European players have actually talked about it a little bit, that apparently the North Americans haven't realized yet how actually OP Nyx Carrigan is. If you are in any way familiar with the European scene and European drafting, you obviously know that Carrigan, in most cases, and very specifically on certain maps, like for example Tomb of the Spider Queen, Inferno Shrines and others, gets regularly banned out against Nick because he has such a massive impact that's a bit crazy. And I'm kind of surprised that we see the same setup again, where we have Carrigan now picked for the second time in the series. Now, to be fair, he didn't really have the same impact on the first map of this series than he usually does. And obviously, there's also the ping problem that plays into this a little bit. If you have a bigger ping on the North American server, as is the case here, then you won't be able to execute the same crisp plays that you can execute on your home server. So there's a couple of these things that definitely come in again. But, well, either way, right now we have a pretty solid setup for them. At the front line, I gotta say, though, we don't really have that main tank. We got Urel now filling out that role, whereas Deckard Kane has been picked too. So, as we've seen in some of the previous third games in those exhibition matches, the third map is one where you will have some different picks in as well. Now, Urel can definitely fill that role, and they still have a fair amount of CC. Urel herself is incredibly disruptive. You have Dehaka with the Tong Connect if you can pull that one off. Level 1, by the way, we got the ambush for Sergeant Hammer. It's hammer time! And who is actually on that Urel again? I mean, Urel is currently all the way up at the top. For Vespertine, that shouldn't be a problem. Lauba on Dehaka is kind of interesting in the sense that with Dehaka, it can be tricky to really connect your Tong anyways. If you're then also looking at an additional ping disadvantage, I imagine that that is going to be pretty nasty for him to play through with that. But we'll see. So this Dehaka setup for the frontline hero is going to be a little bit strange at this point. But either way, with level 4 talents in, we got the siege tactics now first of all. And also Indomitable as the choice for Garrosh, pretty much the norm here, as the teams are starting to prep for objective number 1, and that's exactly what we're heading into right now, aren't we? So first objective has already been called on the map, all the way up at the top. Vespertine is currently sitting tight, Cure also starting to jump after him. URL kill would have been fantastic, but not that easily accomplished. Okay, so Dragon's Breath comes in on 7. A little bit of a mix and match setup for Chromie after going initially for once again the first time here and speccing more into the Sandblast. We have Greymane taking the camp again. Hazuops, as in game number 1, is playing the same hero here. And of course, we also have, with the objective spawning, now an opportunity. Lauber missing the Tong. Yeah, obviously hoping for the target to walk into him. Nice flip on Hazu, but didn't really do too much. And actually not really playing around the objective too hard yet. Lauber pushed out another lane at the bottom. Nick did, and now is starting to join the team here. And Nick is already waiting in the shadows here. I want to see if he can set that Carrigan up for the team again. He's definitely going to try and make it work. So Cure is already sliding in here with Malthael. He himself has gone on level 4 into the die alone at the same time. We got the Fear the Reaper. Could always then see that last right connect later on. But again, for them a bit unfortunate if they had, for example, the Ana in. Just imagine that Nano boosted Malthael with a Tormented Soul, which can absolutely wreck you if the opponent doesn't have enough CC to control you properly. But here comes the jump. 26 stacks give the Elephants a bit of a lead as everybody's starting to jump in on this one. Yeah, Hunter gets attacked again, tries to rush away here, and is able to dodge out on the Tong. Lauber with another Drag Connect attempt that backfired against him, but the blue team has taken over on the stacks. They're sitting at 33 against 32. This is going to be a nail-biter. This is going to be a real close one. Cure's jumping in, trying to win it for the team. Oh, they're so close. 39 to 38. 39. The Arcane Punisher goes to the Elephants. And Nick is down. Oh my god. The follow-up kill against Lauber, definitely possible. And they lock it in too. Nicely done. What a setup here. Nick goes down first just as they lock in the Punisher. Such a close call. And then they go for Lauber and secure themselves another kill. Really, really well done by the Elephants. And of course now a big lead on the map. But god, that was clutch. 39 points towards the objective against 38. And then they locked in the last 2 and turned it around. Close call, but it worked out. Chromie with the slowest. Ooh, Carrigan, damn. Okay, Carrigan down. Chromie with the slowing sands over here. Hazu is also dead. Uh-oh. Yeah, sorry, June, but you're also going to fall here. That's a triple kill. And at least a bit of a counter action here. But of course, that's going to be the end of Lauber. And oh my god, what a fiesta at this point. Big fight here in the middle. Chromie gets the first 2, then Ana comes down. They're turning the kill count against Stukov. And then Lauber is completely isolated and is also getting dropped. Kill after kill after kill coming in. And that's now 6 kills to 1. A level lead for the Elephants. The fort in the mid lane destroyed. Sergeant Hammer active at the bottom of the map, taking another wall down. That's a bit nasty. Nick actively throwing the game to give the North American players the illusion that his Carrigan is garbage and make sure that the hero isn't banned in the future. I'm just kidding, of course. Mind games. I think he's probably happy that he can play Carrigan a little bit, since in Europe he doesn't get to play it a lot. But as I said, I would assume that those ping problems on the NA server are going to make it a bit of a challenge to set all of it up. Especially for Lauber, I would assume, so for the reasons mentioned earlier. But now that the second fort is destroyed, we have level 10 abilities finally ready for both teams, so at least you can play a game on eye level right now. But it's gonna be a bit tricky here. Let's see. Nick already down at the bottom of the map. Just checking this out. Red team is already sitting tight and is trying to time this. LA the only ones. Yeah, I was about to say, like, you should probably double check the event on the left side if you want to prevent the opponent's team from jumping in here. Might be the better move. Has also, which is quite important, the flailing swipe now on level 10. If that wasn't the case, he would probably not try and save the camp by himself. If you only have the shove and 2 make it in, then you are in trouble. So you got to be careful with that. So off we go. And, well, let's have a bit of a look. Last Rites is obviously in, as already called earlier. We got the timeout now on level 13 for Chromie. And with the 6 kills to 1, that should still be interesting. Nick is dealing with the camp at the bottom. Hazorps is already sitting at the side, anchoring this a little bit. And so do Lauber and June, which is pretty much also a trap setup. So if everybody starts to jump in over through the side here, Lauber could have tried to make a play. Hazorps is just moving away from Cure right now. I don't think that drag... Yeah, he doesn't even try. Doesn't connect it at all. Topside gets pushed though. And these Hammer setups are starting to get really annoying. So the Elephants are doing a pretty good job just keeping Hammer in a position where she can attack the structures over and over again. And in this case, it leads to another tower falling. So it's a pretty solid impact. The problem really for the Donkeys is that they are starting to trail heavily behind in experience, and as the Shrine is now announced, it will translate into a level 13 advantage for the Elephants around the next objective. And the bot fort is down, which means that if you lose another Punisher, you might not lose the keep, but you should... I mean, it's likely that you're going to lose at least the wall and some hit points on the keep itself. So this is a bit dangerous now. And if the Elephants, of course, can follow up with additional kills, then the situation gets worse. With half a level missing, the Donkeys are still totally willing to take that fight, though. So they are jumping in as we speak. There's a Dragon Tand, isolation, last rights, the kill against Garrosh. Uh-oh! And here comes Kerrigan. Nano-boosted Nick. Nick totally boosted, starting to hunt, jumping around with Vespertine. It's the Rel and Kerrigan combo as they come in for the easy double kill, grab the level 13 themselves, and are all of a sudden looking at an easy peasy objective with the Haka already rotating topside. Gets pinged here too. Lauber waddles away, but the Punisher is of course taken, and the Frozen Punisher should at least allow Greymane to do some serious work at the bottom of the map. I mean, just disabling that stuff and allowing Hazo to go ham, that's all that we're going to see here. So off we go. They're starting to jump in, take this one down, easy peasy. Topside, counter pressure. Lauber trying to buy himself a bit more time. Careful, good lockdown. Nicely done with the violent reaction here. But Vespertine is in too. Ooh, even the Gladiator's Medallion has been committed to over up at the top. Bot side, as expected, is starting to turn into a little bit of a shit show for the Elephants. They're definitely going to lose that fort. They won't be able to save that at all. So that one's down. Goodbye, my friend. And that means that we have not quite an even score in structures, but that's definitely a big step for the Donkeys now. Winning that objective was huge. They were initially down a talent, and then when they got the easy double kill with Nick, that of course turned quickly. Not only did they gather the experience, but they had the advantage on the map to go for the Punisher. That translates into a destroyed fort at the bottom of the map. And honestly, a lot more map control, and them closing the experience gap. So it was pretty big. Now, when it comes to damage, we have 11,000. Ooh, the Haka actually on top hero damage here. I mean, to be fair, Greymane could maybe outpace him and will probably outpace him as this continues. But of course, nobody can really match Sergeant Hammer at this point. 24,000 for the Sergeant, so there's that. We have, same time, another camp taken over here. 3 kills to 6 right now. And off we go. So, topside. Cure is already sitting tight. And tries to push out the lane a little bit. Okay, so what else do we have? We have... Oh, actually, it seems like they're trying to go for the flank. But again, these drags just won't connect. Good flailing swipes from Elhaim. Yeah, that healing... not healing dart, that sleeping dart did not really hit hard. Still, Marcel is topside and Hunter is down. Hunter is down. 16 talents are getting picked. And Giant Killer? Not too bad. That's going to be actually pretty impactful right now. So having Giant... We are pretty early in the game for 16 actually. 11 minutes in. So quite a bit of fighting happening here. So this is 4 kills against 6. 16 on both sides. I like how he just jumped behind the fort and proxied the wave. Got the experience. And allowed the minions to take down the structures. That was pretty cool. Gave him extra XP, more lane control, way better than him just attacking the structures. Of course, if he gets interrupted on the hearth, he's fucked, but still, that one was a solid one. So yeah, good shit, good for him. Okay, so, well, Nick is starting to rotate topside. Over here, careful, Kerrigan. Oh, last rights against Greymane. Yeah, Kerrigan is at the bottom of the map, by the way. A little bit of a brain fart on my end, sorry. 4 kills to 7. So, yeah, good last rights. Job well done. So let's see if they can do a little bit more with that. And again, guys, as usual, if you want to support the channel and also the commentary here a bit, check out patreon.com/Khaldor. And thanks a lot to everybody that already supports me over there and helps me to keep the esports coverage over here live. Very much appreciated. So big shout out to everybody. And yeah, thanks a lot for that. And again, if you haven't had a look yet, then you can always check it out if you want to help to keep the channel alive and help me to also introduce some new features and up the quality a little bit on all of this. So yeah, thank you very, very much. Yeah, and in our little setup over here, we got the shrine activating right now with 30 seconds left. And here we go. Vespertine is sitting up at the top. If you can steal that camp away, that would be the dream. But it's a 5 versus 5 now. Even talents. Carry again! Oh, and there it is, the kill. Yeah, setups like this one are just a little bit too good. Garrosh thought he was safe there. He has the Indomitable, he has the Gladiator's Medallion, but those are just those pouncing attacks that we've seen from Nick and other players. Good coordination on there, and Nano boosted Carrigan is trying to carry again. Nick, did he put the backpack on today? Those calves are shining as he's trying to carry the rest of the team on his back here. Starting to jump in for it. Top side is still pushing this one out. Over here, on the other hand, they're controlling the position on the shrine quite easily. 17 seconds for Garrosh to come back. Hammer, hammer, the Sergeant, Lutano. Oh, and Vespertine, he really wants that kill, doesn't he? Jumps halfway across the map in order to get it. I mean, to be fair, he also occupies the opponent's time quite significantly right now. Ult is still up, so Cure can't use the last rights, at least not yet. And Vespertine, okay, last rights. There's the ult, and that was at least a positive cooldown trade. Yeah, I guess at least trade the cooldown. He knew that he couldn't really take the kill, but might as well, right? So that's 120 seconds against 60 seconds, still hashtag worth it. Now we have 36 stacks for Chromie, who 13, 14 minutes in hasn't completed the quest yet. The same is true for Garrosh, who's sitting at 14. And with 39, they obviously start to just like stale that out a little bit, trying to buy some time for Vespertine to also make the bot lane a little bit safer. Doesn't deal with the camp though, and they're kind of forced to take this one now, as the elephants are starting to make their play here. They're also still ahead in experience. The elephants are actually ahead in XP. So that's what we're currently sitting there. Right now, we have everybody else starting to jump through the middle. And, well, here comes the push. And kind of important also now, with the cooldown trade that I highlighted earlier, Malthin is going to have his back in 5 seconds, whereas for Urel, it's down for another minute. So if this defense at any point starts to turn against the donkeys, there's a solid chance for the elephants to take down Urel. So cooldown trades like this can actually be kind of worth it. Especially if you have someone like Malthael who, of course, tries to work on additional stacks to reduce the cooldown even further. And right now he only has one, so it didn't really do a great job for him throughout the entire game. It's not the most kill-heavy setup either way. We have nearly level 20 accomplished for both teams now. And the elephants, I mean, again, they want to have at least one win. They also, I haven't really mentioned it like too much, but with the Haka in, obviously, we have a global hero for the donkeys. We've seen that in action multiple times here, but it means that towards the later stages of the game that we're slowly entering right now, Lauba is the one who really can help to push these lanes out and make sure that there is not going to be any solid lane pressure against the donkeys. And that is going to play a big role. Once that we're opening up the map even more, maybe even take a keep or two down, this is going to be maybe even the linchpin of who's going to get the better position around an objective. If the Haka can either pressure a lane and put the pressure on the elephants, or if he can just simply defend their own lanes and then join the fight later through his global, that is worth a lot. Now, we got on 20, first of all, the advanced Lava Strike, as we had the Napalm earlier. Piercing Sands are in play too. And the Nano Infusioner, of course, has been upgraded now as well. So Carrigan is going to be terrifying as all of this continues. The damage output, not really all that much has changed. I mean, Greyman has taken over the damage from the blue team side, as we already expected earlier. But he still can't hold a candle to Sergeant Hammer. Hammer is sitting in the backline the entire time, is well guarded by the rest of the team, especially with the slowing Sands also protecting her a bit more. So she's able to get serious damage on the board, especially thanks to Giant Killer as her level 16 choice. So that didn't really change in any way, shape or form. But, yep, let's go. So all the way up at the top, Vespertine is still pushing out. I mean, both teams are waiting for the objective. There's no real reason to risk anything and fight here. So you really just try to get the proper setup around the objective. You're trying to push these lanes out. Just make sure that you have some vision. And everybody is more or less on mounts now, because without any help, I mean, now that Lauba is here and everybody else is close, they can start to push this out a little bit. But if you don't have a lot of vision and you're alone, you want to play safe. Now, Urel is a little bit of a special case, simply because she has so many escape tools that she can use to get away. You would have to set up a real solid gank against her, especially when she has her ult ready to take her down. And that's not happening anytime soon. So, yeah, Hazops and his boys are taking the first camp over here. And already talking about camps, we're having this one also more or less destroyed. They're not taking it just yet. But the problem for the red team is that with this little move, they're actually giving the opportunity over to the donkeys to take every single camp. And they're doing exactly that. So they have already taken the first two Khazras. We have Greymane taking the third one at the bottom. That's a lot of lane pressure in the mid and the bot lane that we now see for the blue team. So the elephants, yeah, they will have to deal with that at some point. That's actually a bit annoying. I mean, look at Kerrigan, for example. Kerrigan is still look at this mid lane. I mean, on the macro level, that is fantastic now. You have two lanes that are aggressively pushing, and in the meantime, you can deal with the top. This is exactly what we're currently seeing. So, this fight will, of course, decide a lot, but this big push in the middle also is going to have an impact. There's already Cure jumping in. Oh, there is the last right kills. Easy peasy. Double quest completion. But Kerrigan with a counter kill right away. Yep, Nick is not letting his team down here. He's hopping from one minion to another, trying to get himself into a better position. But he was the one to get the kill against Stukov. And that's the healer down, and that's the problem. Talk about things that were down. That wall is gone, and at the bottom of the map, the next one is going to be attacked in just a couple of seconds. Mid lane is a massive problem for the elephants. The red team is likely going to lose the keep if they don't send someone back, and the keep is already taking damage as we're talking about it. Top side, there's still a 4 versus 4 raging on. One team has a healer, the other one doesn't. Malthael will have his ult back soon enough, but the blue team is not even making a move right now. And I mean, why would they? Just look at the setup. They're just going in the middle and taking the keep down. That's an easy keep. That's a freebie right there. So, can jump in, can take this, and Lutano, he might siege up, but is he going to save this one? Not if Urel sticks around. Urel actually falls back now, though. And they might not be able to get it because of that. Now, of course, it's so low that whenever you move in for it, you'll get it. Red team does the exact same thing, by the way, that the donkeys have done earlier. They keep it at 39 stacks, since there's nothing really for on the board of the donkeys, only 3. They can take it whenever, so it's going to come down to the team fight again. And if the red team pushes out the top, then we're also going to see, very likely, a flank attempt by the donkeys if they want to force that fight. And they're actually baiting with Nick at the bottom of the map a little bit. Just letting him sit there, the carrot, whereas the Admiral Akbar moment over here is set up. And they want that keep. Of course they want the keep. It's so low, if you can just poke it a little bit, you're going to get it. So they're sitting there and they're saying like, well, yeah, let's force that a bit. We still have vision on Malthael at the top, so we know they can have a maximum of 4 players here. Oh, Lutano! What? What the hell? The nano-boosted Kerrigan. What a kill. What a kill. Sergeant Hammer gets murdered and the keep is down. Look at it. Sexy lady plays right here. Yep, there's the combo, and goodbye, Sergeant Hammer. Unbelievable. Great play. Really, really great combo. Oh, Nick with a double stun, and Cure is dead too. Yeah, Cure just got cured of life. Malthael, the aspect of death, is dead. Thankfully for him, he has his 20. And apparently nobody can stop him, so he's back to business. They still have to deal with the Punisher at the top, but oh, that Sergeant Hammer kill. Sexy as hell. Nice, nice, nice. So, they're going for the top. Should be able to defend this. And yeah, this is going to make the game even more interesting. I mean, we are 8 kills in on each side. We have a level 23 versus level 22. And yeah, only 1 keep is down, the one in the middle of the red team side. There's even a fort still up. I mean, that's kind of crazy in and of itself if you think about it. Top side, the red team's fort is still ready. A little bit of a ping attempt. I don't really think they can make a play here yet. But okay, let's go. What do we have there? Nick and June are sitting tight. There's still double camp in the middle. God, Jesus, that honestly, that play from Nick there. Nick and Ural. Here they come again, and Hammer gets hammered. Nice, and in comes Nick once more. The nano infusion, and Nick is just hopping around like a bunny on speed, trying to get additional kills. Lauber comes in, there's the medallion, and this time the drag connects, and that's another kill. It's a double, it's a triple, baby, and it might just be game. They're coming in, they want to end it all. 5 versus 2 on the map, they push through the middle. Cure on Malthael and Chromie, the only survivors, and this is looking like it might just be lights out again. The Donkeys, they have the 2-0 already, and in this third map of the exhibition, are they able to finish what they started? Chromie is trying to prevent it. We have Cure jumping in too, looking for that last right setup, but 86% already on the core. Chromie in trouble, Anna down at least, but so is Chromie. Cure makes it out barely. He has 3 stacks now. He doesn't have the cooldown. Greymane is still alive, and that's the big problem, of course. He's the one to rip the quad apart. And we have another 3 seconds for Sergeant Hammer to come back. Cure in trouble. Cure is down. This is game 3-0 for the Donkeys against the Elephants in the game over here. GG. Well done.